Hello and welcome to Mark Goldbridge, That's Football, the European Super League, the Super League. You can call it the American Super League, you can call it the Disney Super League. I'm going to keep calling it the Shit Super League because the Shit Super League is in the mud. Live breaking news, it's in the mud. In the mud. Chelsea are on the way out. City are looking to get out. Liverpool apparently want to get out. Man City have said. Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, it's falling apart like a bowling ball crashing through a poppadom. And Glazers and the Florentino Perez, they're so frustrated. They're like a cat trying to bury a shit on a marble floor. I've got them all tonight. Because you boys are taking one hell of a beating. And I tell you what, it might not be over, but I hope it is over. And I think it is going to be over. But in relation to my club, Manchester United, never forget what they tried to do. And I think Chelsea fans should feel the same. I think Man City, Liverpool. But look, I want to go back to, hopefully that we get this resolved. We go back to club rivalry. We go back to everything. But at the moment, we are united. We are united on one front to stop this. And it looks like everybody's efforts so far have worked. And it looks like the European Super League is going to fall apart. But I'm very happy about that. But also, let's not forget who tried to do it. Let's not forget that these people still own our football clubs. They're very, very, very dangerous people. And look, you know, I'm overjoyed. I think that I said to Flex, who I know is live on United Stand as well, I said that when it was just Chelsea, I said, that's it. It's game over. We spoke about this last night. If you haven't got PSG and you haven't got Bayern and you haven't got Dortmund, and then you lose just one, they've only got, how many clubs did they have? 12. You know, especially when it's Chelsea going. If it was Arsenal or Spurs going, with all due respect, Chelsea have got more impact in relation to, they are one of the better teams in Europe at the moment. I mean, Arsenal and Spurs were Europa League, like Man United, but Chelsea going is the game changer. But to have everybody else going as well, we've got talk of City, there's talk of Atletico Madrid, there's rumours of Liverpool. It's gone. It's in the mud. And I think that the big thing here is that if these teams are going, it shows you that the big clubs are the ones that leave last. And the silence from Real Madrid and Manchester United, as we know they're the ones, what they do from this point is going to be very interesting. I don't think it's all over. I think this is just the beginning. I mean, Florentino Perez, let's not forget as well, in the last couple of hours, we've had legislation going in Spain that they think is applicable across Europe to say that the Super League can go ahead, that they can't face any sanctions. So it's really interesting that Perez, I almost want to watch. I'm going to go and find Florentino Perez's tweets when I go to bed tonight, because it will send me to bed with a nice smile. Not in a sexual way, but in a way that, you know, the smugness in his bullshit that he put out yesterday and his arrogance. I'm an intelligent man. I've been around football for years. And if this is to fall apart, it couldn't happen to nicer people. It really, really couldn't. So the breaking news is that Chelsea. Look, you know what? You know. I know a lot of people. They like their news and they like to know where their news is coming from. But I think the fact that it's fell apart so easily just shows you what a sham it actually was. And I actually think on that, I mean, look, it's dangerous how quickly it's fallen apart. You almost think, God, they really weren't. They really weren't planning it that well. They really, really weren't. But I think actually what Dan Rowan who's a BBC journalist. I mean, look, Dan Rowan is sports editor for the BBC. Say what you like about the BBC. If you don't live in the UK, the BBC is pretty nailed on. They don't do speculation. They're not the Daily Star. Man City have withdrawn from the European Super League 2. Chelsea are preparing documentation to withdraw as well. So that's Chelsea and Man City gone. That's the Super League gone. If everybody else going are just trying to cover their arse now. The reality is, it was rumoured this morning that Chelsea and Manchester City were going to go. And I think a lot of other clubs have shit themselves and realised this is going to fall apart. You don't want to be the last team standing, because that shows you we're the main problem. But we know who the main problem is. I apologise. It's my club. It's nothing to do with me, but Manchester United and Real Madrid are the architects of this. And they are everybody who signed up for it is evil. Chelsea are not any less evil. All I can say is that, look, you can return. You know, Darth Vader. Darth Vader was evil. He started off good. He went evil, and he killed a lot of young Jedis and he killed a lot of innocent people. But and Chelsea haven't done that. But what I'm saying is that it's evil can be turned back to good, and people should give them a chance. If Chelsea decide that they want their club to be run a different way, then you know that's their battle. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm still left in an embarrassing situation as a Manchester United fan. My club hasn't pulled out. I celebrate Chelsea. I celebrate Manchester City. But my club hasn't pulled out, and my club is an architect of this, isn't he? So it's they're all meeting to leave. I mean, look, the interesting thing is that Perez said, well, you know, they can't leave. We've all signed up. Nothing's going to stop us. I mean, I almost thought he was going to start singing a bit of Starship. Nothing's going to stop us now. But there's a better song, isn't there? There's a lot better song. Get in the bin, you prat. Get in the bin. I just feel it's absolutely fantastic. All 12 clubs are meeting tonight. So they're going to back out. They're going to bottle it. They're going to bottle it and they're going to say, we made a mistake. But ultimately, you know, each club has to make their own decision then. As a Manchester United fan, I can't get the Glazers out on my own. Manchester United need to take that on board. And look, at the end of the day, I'd be very, very wary, because if they all back out now, it could be, yeah, we need to get out now. It wasn't the right time. We'll come back in a year and we'll make sure that we don't fall foul of this again. It gives everybody breathing space. It gives them breathing space to try and do it again. And it gives us breathing space, and hopefully the authorities breathing space to sort it out. The cynic in me, I don't want to poop on people's parade here, but the cynic in me is that the 12 clubs are going to pull out. There's been a bit of a chat with UEFA, and it's like, let's come up with a plan where we still make loads of money together, and that's probably what will happen, and the fans will still be the victim. We think we've won this. I don't ultimately think we have won it. I think what we've won is that we get to keep the Premier League and we get to keep the Champions League. But the great thing is that this Super League that we were worried about actually is it has crumbled in a very, very quick period of time. But I think the reason that it has crumbled is because they underestimated the absolute brilliant weight of opinion across the world about this. I think when they signed it, because they don't really understand football, they were like, "Oh yeah, there'll be a little bit of a backlash, but it'll calm." And what they've seen is, you've messed with the wrong people. You've done something that doesn't really happen very often. You've united football fans together. You've dissolved club rivalries, and you've united everybody. You've united governments, you've united organisations, you've united journalists, you've united players, you've united fans. And I think they saw in the face of that they were screwed, because you can't start a Super League that's going to make loads of money and then sell it when nobody wants to watch it and everybody hates it. They've absolutely misjudged this. I would have expected better from Florentino Perez, because he told us last night that he's been in the game since whatever year it was, and he's an expert. You're a prat, mate. You've totally and utterly misjudged that. I expect it of the Glazers. I expect it of Ed Woodward, because as a Manchester United fan, I personally know, like every other United fan, that they're clueless when it comes to football. They're out of touch. But Perez is a football expert, and he's totally misjudged this. And it's hilarious. It's hilarious how much they've misjudged this, how much they've misjudged fans. And I think they misjudge fans because they're like, well, we've made all this money. We've been manipulating them for years. We'll do it again. Well, you went too far. I just hope that this victory is not the only victory. I suspect that if we all just go back to normal and let it go back to normal, they'll do it again in the future. There needs to be reform. And ultimately, these people need to be taken away from football. I don't know whether that will happen, and that will go down to each fan's individual clubs, because that's a battle for Man United fans, that's a battle for Liverpool fans, that's a battle for Man City fans. And look, I don't think Man City are going to want to change their owners, do you? I'm not sure Chelsea will want to change their owners, but that's not my battle. I, as a Manchester United fan, want Ed Woodward and the Glazers out of Manchester United. I always did. I vehemently do want them out now. As I always said, JP Morgan were putting up the money for this. Ed Woodward worked at JP Morgan. He helped the Glazers buy Manchester United in 2005 at JP Morgan. And in 2021, JP Morgan are funding a Super League. I mean, look, Call me sceptical, but I think that's not a coincidence, don't you? So basically, Ed Woodward and the Glazers tried to destroy my football club over the last few days. And yeah, there's a lot of joy that it's fallen apart, but I don't really want them anything to do with my football club anymore, you know? They've outed themselves as snakes who don't really care about the club. Why would you want them running your football club? So yeah, but what every other football club is down to them. I'm going to keep bringing you the news because there's a lot of it coming in. But the breaking news is that the breaking news about 20 minutes ago was that Chelsea went. Then there was breaking news that that Man City went. And then there was talk of Liverpool. Now there's talk of Atletico Madrid and Barcelona. Manchester United will be leaving the European Super League with official confirmation set to be made before Friday. That's coming out as well. Players revolted against the European Super League behind the scenes. Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire were heavily involved and confronted Ed Woodward. Well, we've already seen... I mean, Luke Shaw's my left back. Luke Shaw has been a player that I've always had his back when others didn't, but that's on a footballing sense. I don't care what you think about Luke Shaw as a footballer. I said this morning it could be Phil Jones who came out and he'd be a legend, but Luke Shaw did come out about half an hour ago, just before this broke, with a tweet backing fans. Respecting the club but backing the fans. So big up to Luke Shaw, Marcus Rashford, James Milner, Pep Guardiola, Bruno Fernandes, Harry Maguire and all the captains of the club that have done things, because I know it's not been easy, but ultimately you came down on the side of fans when the battle was still being run, and that won't be forgotten. I mean, there'll be players coming out now, I'm sure, but the ones who put their head above the parapet before this came down, they're the ones that we'll remember, and there's a select few there, and it doesn't mean if you didn't that you're not a great footballer, but we appreciate the support from those people who did come out. I thought Pep was fantastic this afternoon, as I said, Milner last night, Rashford, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire. There may have been others, but as a Man United fan, obviously I've noticed the Manchester United ones, but it's crumbling apart. It's crumbling apart very, very quickly. All 12 clubs are meeting tonight to discuss disbanding the Super League. I mean, this is just music to my ears. This is absolutely music to my ears. This is the crumbling of of something that we've spent 3 days being told was unbreakable. Unbreakable this was. This was going ahead. Nothing was going to stop it. The bloody president of some twat secretary kept coming out like Billy Big Bollocks telling us it was going ahead. Who are you? Who are you? And where are you now? Sit down and go back to wherever you came from. You look a bunch of prats. You've took on the wrong people and you've absolutely misjudged it. We have to get the Glazers out, I agree. Glazers out, absolutely. Glazers out has never been so more... Has to happen. Has to happen. I mean, I'm just going to put a tweet out about that and everybody needs to do it. We've got to keep the fight going. They have to go. It's disgusting. But look, it is absolutely fantastic news that we've got. And obviously I think we've got a match on as well. Chelsea against Brighton, which suddenly becomes a match again, doesn't it? So there's a meeting tonight. It's all falling apart. I mean, look, I'll be able to have a proper night's sleep tonight. Barcelona will not join the Super League until our fans vote. It's their club, so it's their decision, says Laporta. And it just makes you worry. It makes you wonder what has actually gone on. What bullshit. I mean, look, in a way, I'm overjoyed. Well, I am overjoyed. I'm sure you're all overjoyed. But you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, literally, I'm sure many of you, like me, were watching Perez last night, and the stuff he was coming out with was ridiculous. I'm going to say football. We're going to say football. Football's extinct. I'm an intelligent guy. I know football. This has been planned for a very long time. It's and ultimately, not even 24 hours later, it's in the mud. It's over, and you think, well, you absolutely crumbled. Like an apple crumble. You've crumbled and fallen apart. And I'm almost surprised how easy it's happened. But look, I think the sheer weight... I mean, I suppose what's happened really is their defence of their super plan, their Super League, It's a little bit like 12 prats stood there going to war with breadsticks, and then, you know, this massive army of helicopters and spaceships and bloody assault rifles and, you know, all the stuff, all the shit you see on Call of Duty. We've come over the hill and they've gone, no, we can't do it. We're sorry. It was a joke. It was a joke. Can we keep our jobs? We're only joking. It was a joke. And I think that's what we're going to see, grovelling now. Everybody's going to blame everybody else. Everyone's going to spin it. And ultimately, never forget, whoever you support, whether you know, even West Ham fans and Leicester, they were trying to screw you over. Never forget, even though it looks like this battle has been won, never forget, if they could have won it, we'd have lost our football clubs. We're only happy because we've won. That's what we've that's what we're seeing. So it's very interesting, isn't it? But look, I've got to read some of your comments. Still hope our clubs are punished, though. Bottling doesn't mean they never tried it, says Aaron. I think there still should be punishment, but I bet they won't. It'll all be forgotten now because the government were only going to get involved if the Premier League and the UEFA needed them, and I bet they won't. Thank you for the super chat, Vinay. I'm so bloody happy the fans have won the war and battle. Celtic fan here, and humanity has won. Cheers, Joseph. If true and ESL depended, this may finally provide the opportunity to kick Ennett and the Glazers out. There is no way they can stay now. Hopefully, let's get 51% ownership, says Steve. Mark, did you see Luke's speech? Absolute legend. And I told you in United stand today, Glazers' greed will be their downfall after what happened. Thoughts? You know, Ronit, I mean, look, how we get the Glazers out of our club has always been a big problem. But, you know, there's got to be a way. Surely there's got to be a way. I'm so happy. Lots of people very happy as well. I'm in tears, Mark. Let's unite and throw the Glazers out of this now, says Vinay. Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Smash a like if you're happy. I can't read every comment. So enjoying the Super League's new knockout format, says Paddy O'Hara. Bang, bang, mic drop from Paddy O'Hara. Brilliant. I like that. Mark, if this has proven one thing, it's the power of the United fan base. Now we know that if we drop our agendas and work together, we really can achieve, says Martin. Martin, I just want to say this is not... I mean, I'm not on the United stand. The United stand is live. Flex is on there because I wasn't meant to be. I'm just doing a match today. But I am wearing my United stand top. And this is because of the United stand fan channel, as we know. But I would dedicate this badge tonight on this show. United Stand has got nothing to do with Manchester United. The United Stand can mean many things. And that badge tonight is for everybody. Whether you're a Chelsea fan, a West Ham fan, a Leicester fan, a Rochdale fan, a Man City fan, a Manchester United fan. This is a proper United Stand, more than I ever thought that name could ever be. It's been a United Stand by fans, ex-players, the media. Everybody has stood up to this absolute greed and they've defeated it. And it just shows you that, you know, as I always said, I know it's not my quote, but I like to use it. Football has won today, says Charles Crane, but also evil prospers when good people sit down and do nothing. And when you stand up together, and look, it's not just what we've done, loads of people, Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, loads of people, and that's just people I've heard. There'll be loads of other people as well. This is a collective win for every single person that was against this. This is not down to one person. This is a collective win because one person was never going to be enough. No matter how angry and how much they shouted, it had to be sheer volume of numbers. And it was. And it has sustained. And there's been those prats who try and be, oh, let's just do it. There's even people who've been pro for it. Well, sit down because it was never a good idea. Not in this format. Not in this way. Consultation is key and fans need to be asked about it. And maybe there will be a European Super League at some point, but maybe that's because it will be done in a democratic way. I could never argue with the European Super League. I said I will stop doing the United Stand and I will stop watching Manchester United if they go into this European Super League. And I meant it. I would have done it. I will not be doing it now because I feel I've got my club back. Not totally, it's still in the hands of people I don't want it to be, but it's been in those hands for 15 years and I've still followed the club. If in the future we go into a European Super League and I don't want to, but say 60-70% of my fan base votes for it, that's a democratic decision voted for by people I respect, fans. I will not go into something willingly like they wanted us to do on Sunday, and that's the important thing. Sometimes you are outvoted and you have to accept it, but if I'm outvoted by people I actually respect, then I will go along with it because that's democracy. This was absolute dictatorship and it's been torn down. And we'll remember this. In the footballing industry, in the football world, not industry. We're not industry. We're a world. We will remember this. Football has won today, like Charles Grain. Football fans have won, but football has won, and you've played your part. Matthew Paul says the Six must still be punished. This, at the end of the day, has become a failed coup. Exactly, Matthew Paul. If you did this in real life, you'd go to prison. I'm a Tottenham fan, and seeing every fan come together is amazing. As in America hates the Super League, you've got to make a shirt saying I lasted longer than the Super League, says Mickham. Ban American owners from the sport now, needs to be done. We don't want this. They don't know football. We want an NFL style with no relegation. NFL has no competition. Watched your podcast on the Red Man and you spoke very well. FSG and the Glazers aren't welcome, says Eth. Thank you very much, mate. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right hand corner. The support on this channel in particular and the United Stand over the last 3 days has been fantastic. I'm probably like anybody else. I said to the wife today, I said, I'm absolutely exhausted. I can't sleep at night. There's loads and loads of discussion. People need the discussion because it's helping them and it's helping me. And I said today, I don't know how many more, I could be doing this for weeks. The fact that it looks like it's over and we can get some bloody rest, but we must not rest on what's happened. We need people to do something about what these people tried to do. They must be held accountable, but we must enjoy this victory as well. Things need to be put into place to stop this ever happening again. We need the German model. 51% is a must, says Joshua Bowwater. How must the players of the teams left in the European competitions, all their work undone by greed, says David Brannigan. How about forcing the C words to sell the clubs or face severe punishment? That way some fans might not be punished for this coup, says Man United boy. Money from dividends they invest in creating Super League and now they don't have nothing, says Irfin. Look, I do think that the interesting thing here is that, look, Manchester United probably will... The Athletic are saying that no developments yet from Manchester United on staying in or leaving the proposed Super League. Well, Man United can stay in the Super League if they want. It's not going to work. My fear was, that, and the reason I was happy when Chelsea came out. So at the moment, Chelsea are out, Man City are out, Atletico Madrid are coming out, Barcelona are coming out. Atletico Madrid news might be false, actually. But Man City and Chelsea are out. That's enough. I think even Chelsea's enough. And my theory behind this is that if Chelsea come out, you've got Chelsea, you've got Bayern Munich, you've got PSG, you've got Dortmund. I know it's only 4, but when you add the fact that, okay, the Super League's got Manchester United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, I don't really think, and Liverpool, 5. Okay, it's got 5. AC Milan, Inter Milan, Liverpool, Tottenham, not really bothered about you. So you've really got Man United, Liverpool, Juventus, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Dortmund, PSG. The battle is starting to wane then anyway. The only chance they had of success was to have as many of the big clubs as they could, that everyone was forced to watch it and pay. If there's an alternative, which there would be if Chelsea and Man City come out, it's gone. It's gone. It's absolutely gone. Money from... as a Sheffield United Wednesday fan, I don't really care for the top 6, but this has made me respect them for pulling out, but still disgusted about how they tried backstabbing Europe and should be punished. I hope there is a punishment, but I bet there won't be. Funny how the world got a sneak peek on how the Glazers run United, but on the global scale, and they freak out. Get the losers out of my club, says Hugh. The Glazers will try to save themselves with a good transfer window. We can't let them get away with this, says Ashutosh. Let's not think this is over. Yes, the Super League might flop, but these teams still went ahead with it and would have if not for the backlash, says Shatty. And I'm still fuming. We should all still be punished. How dare they try and take our teams away, says Sean Negative Turner. And I think amongst the elation, there needs to be ramifications. Of course there does. I'm 100% behind that. I don't know how easy that's going to be. It may not be as easy as we think. We're definitely going to need the appetite of UEFA and the Premier League and everybody else. You don't know what they might have been offered by UEFA and everybody else today to make them pull out. Manchester United are going to have to be pulled out. Of course they are. But you don't know what's on offer. It may be harder to move to the next stage. But the fantastic thing is that, it's over. It's over. Man City are the club looking to pull out. The club are in emergency crisis. Talks about the possibility of withdrawing their name from the process. Man City as well. couldn't give a shit if it means we don't make any signings this summer. They've got to go. Maybe, yeah, look, maybe Manchester United won't make any signings in the summer. But, at the end of the day, as I said, I'd rather be mid-table Manchester United than European Super League Manchester United, turning my back on Premier League and European Cup history, Madrid Zone are saying that Atletico Madrid are leaving the Super League, and that's coming from the Press Association. So Chelsea pulling out of European Super League after fan protests. It's relentless at the moment. I'm just trying to grab as much information as I can for you whilst being live. It's absolutely crazy, but I think we'd rather it be crazy. I mean, I presume I don't know whether Chelsea's game is actually going ahead. I need to just. It's a backdrop. Let's be honest. It is a backdrop, but I don't want us to miss what's going on in that, because suddenly we've got our football back. I think. Yeah. There are players on the pitch, so they're warming up. Breaking: the majority of the 12 clubs are now pulling out of the European Super League. This is coming from The Times. No developments from Manchester United on staying in or leaving the proposed Super League yet, says David Ornstein. Well, I tell you what, it's going to be lonely there. It's like having a birthday party for somebody who nobody likes, because no one's going to turn up. And being the last man standing exposes what a bunch of pricks you absolutely are. The expectation is that Chelsea's withdrawal could produce a domino effect. Yep, well, that's what's going to happen. And obviously, that is where we are at the moment. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. 33,000. Make sure you share the video and get involved in the party. 0% chance any player or club will want to do business with the Glazers. Maybe it is the straw that will finally get them out of the club, says Santiago. I hope so. I mean, look, on a very, very selfish level, if this whole torture of the last three days, and I think it has been torture for football fans, if this led to the Glazers and Ed Woodward leaving my football club, then I would take these last 3 days. Of course I would. Do I think it's the end of them? Probably not, but at least it's the end, in a footballing sense, of the European Super League. Apart from the grotesque greed, what amazes me is the lack of understanding from the owners towards people's passion of football and what it means, says James Buxton Wade. Who do you think will play Ed Woodward in the movie adaptation of this, says Scott Andrews. James, what you've just said there, I've said that a few minutes ago. I'm absolutely over the moon at how they've clearly misjudged football, because the way Perez was speaking last night, and I will go back, remind me to go back through some of Perez's quotes from last night. I was reading them as they came in just before I went to sleep last night, and I was like, I think we might be in a bit of trouble here, because he's so confident, he's so arrogant, he's so convinced that this is the right thing to do, and they've obviously been working on it for a long time. And you know what? That makes me even happier, because all I've heard all day is, this ain't going to be over, Goldbridge. They've been working on this for years. They've looked at every single angle. They've even been to courts in Madrid today. Was it Madrid they went to, or somewhere in Spain? And they've filed legislation to stop them being kicked out of tournaments, to allow them to go ahead with it. So they did have everything in place. And the hilarious thing is, they have planned this in private. They put a lot of work into this, and it's crumbled, like I said, like a bowling ball going through a poppadom. It's just crumbled apart. And they really misjudged it. They really thought they had everything in place. Legislation, they were waiting for it to all die down. And they've absolutely... And as I said, Perez is the worst, because he's been in football a long time. Look, the Glazers, Henry and all that lot, maybe they're a bunch of prats. Certainly the Glazers are, and Woodward. I don't trust them in relation to football knowledge. But they obviously thought that this would be received a little bit better. They obviously thought that there would be a bit of a storm, but they'd ride it out. And what they've hit is more than a storm. They've hit a bloody tsunami. We've absolutely submerged them. They've been absolutely overwhelmed. And it's been relentless. And I think what they probably thought was going to happen is that the rivalries would allow... It's what the Glazers do, divide and conquer. So in the Man United fan base, there are people who don't like the United stand for various reasons. There's people who don't like the Manchester United Supporters Trust. There's people that don't like, say, the Red Army or something like that. I'm just trying to think of different groups within the Man United fan base. And therefore, because people from there don't like them, nothing ever gets done against the Glazers, because everyone's fighting amongst each other. And as United are actually one of the architects of this deal, if not the architect, I think what happened is they were like, if we do this, then what will happen is everyone will fight amongst each other, and whilst they're fighting amongst each other, they'll stop fighting with us and we'll just crack on. And I think that's what they were banking on doing. They probably thought Arsenal and Spurs fans would fight with Man United and Chelsea and Liverpool fans because we wouldn't want it, but they'd be going, we want it because we're going to be rich and we probably don't deserve to be in it anyway. And I think, Madrid and Barcelona fans would want it because they want the big players and they're bored of La Liga. And I think what they've underestimated is that football, my first reaction when this happened was, what about Brighton? What about Leicester? What about West Ham? What about, Notts County? What about Sheffield Wednesday? What about all those clubs who are being shit on? Because ultimately, we are loyal to our football clubs, but football is what we really love. We pick our teams and we back them, but ultimately when things like this happen, football fans have this weird thing in us that we're actually loyal to the sport. We are empathetic. And that's what's happened, and that's where they've misjudged football fans, because this happened, and instead of being loyal to our football and club and we're in the Super League, we went, screw you. You don't hold the morals of what our football club's about. You're turning your back on the European Cup when we're intrinsically linked into it. You're turning your back on the Premier League. You're turning your back on something that's made you rich. Nah, I'm not having that. Not on our watch. And I think they misjudged it. I think they thought fans of the Super League clubs would be like, yeah, this is great. And we didn't. We were like, screw you. We turned on our clubs because they weren't our clubs anymore. And it's overwhelmed them. So I think they actually thought they would be okay. They did have it in place, but they didn't expect the backlash like this. The United Stand backlash. And I know that sounds like I'm promoting the United Stand. You can go and watch it if you want. But what I mean is, every fan united and stood up. And I don't want to associate it with Manchester United, but what I'm saying is United are the architects of this, so United's probably not the right word. But everybody stood up. Everybody stood up is probably better, and they didn't expect that. People should remember the fans helped stop this Super League. Now the owners hold these slimy businessmen responsible for their actions, says James Pullen. Thankfully, now that the Super League has been defeated, UEFA and FIFA need reforming. They are just as greedy and money hungry, says Hussein. Look, I don't think the government... I heard Boris Johnson and he said nothing's off the table, but ultimately, if it can be sorted out amongst the football organisations, we won't get involved. I implore the government to get involved. I implore them to get involved because actually we do need that. We want our clubs back. We want the 50% if it's possible. And there needs to be sanctions against those clubs for what they've done. I agree. I've got a little treat for the North London Blues in a minute. I'm really enjoying the Super League's new knockout format, says Tom Curtis. And even if the Super League does not happen, should be time for these owners to be kicked out and never allowed near football again, says Aaron A. We are the sport of the football. We are the heartbeat of the game. We are the lifeblood. We are supply line. We are one. We are all football, says Jared Wilson. Well, yeah, you know what? Everybody opposed this should feel really proud tonight. You've played your part. Whether you tweeted, whether you listened, whether you got up and went somewhere, whether you wrote an email, whatever, you have played your parts. You've played your parts. Mark, does this mean that since we left the ESL, we can't rejoin? And if so, what about the European competitions as well? Are we still in them now, says Dougie Anderson? Look, there should be sanctions. They won't sanction them. They'll just be happy that they've come back. The greatest club in the world, Manchester United, the history, the fans, the players, our love of the club. This is the owners. They are not the club. We are the club. The history is the club. Glazers out, Woodward out, says John Joe Evans. Spot on. Even better news, just check the stock exchange and the shares have plummeted. Great, Gary Turner. TV3 say there's a clause in the ESL document signed by Laporta that protects Barcelona from any termination penalty if clubs vote no. Brilliant, Perez in the mud. Get him out the game, says Jacob Allen. Well, look, to be honest with you, Arsenal, I think, are out as well. Apparently, it's breaking news that Ed Woodward has resigned. No. Please, no. I mean, please, yes, if it's happened, but I've heard this before. Please, yes. Where is this coming from? Ed Woodward has resigned as chairman of Manchester United. Ed Woodward has, this is on Talk Sport, Ed Woodward has resigned as chairman of Manchester United. Woodward's decision comes after the backlash over the European Super League. Good. That's one down. That is one down. Come on. I mean, look, it's not the Glazers. They still own the club, but that's one down. That's a huge ally of the Glazers gone. An architect, reported architect of this, gone. Well over time. I mean, God, is this happening? We've been, you know what? If you're not a Man United fan, you're not going to get this. But we've been through torture as football fans over the last 3 days. And I can only speak as a Manchester United fan of my embarrassment and disgust and pain at what that man and the Glazers have architected against our football club. I don't like to hear of people losing their job. But in this case, this is business, but beyond a business. This is people's emotions that have been pissed about with here. Never forget that they tried to take us out of the European Cup. In 1958, a tragedy occurred where people lost their lives coming back from a European Cup game. 10 years later, the resurrection was completed with Sir Matt Busby winning our first European Cup. 1999 involved our manager scoring a stoppage time goal to win the European Cup and win an unprecedented treble. The European Cup to Manchester United and Liverpool, but Manchester United as a Manchester United fan is huge. For these people to go behind the back of fans, our manager and our players to try and take us out of that tournament for pure greed, I'll tell you what, the last 3 days have been horrible, exhausting. To get to this point, I thank every club that's turned their back on this. Chelsea, Man City and everybody else. Because I'm fully aware that Manchester United, through the Glazers and Ed Woodward, orchestrated this. So I thank you for getting us out of this. And ultimately, I thank you for leading to Ed Woodward leaving our fucking football club. Because that man should never work in football again. I hope he has a happy retirement. I hope he goes and gets another job in banking because he's probably very good at his job. And I wish him no ill will personally. This is business. I get it. But as a businessman and as a chief executive, you massively misjudged what you did over the last 3 days. You've done the right thing by resigning. I hope the Glazers get out as well. This is a big victory for football, but this is a big, big victory for Manchester United. It is absolutely fantastic what clubs have done and what fans have done, and it's not Manchester United specific, to bring down this farce and also to bring down what's happened with Manchester United. It is absolutely fantastic. I cannot thank you enough because it's the one of many. And the emotions on this are huge because this chief executive that we've had at this club since Sir Alex Ferguson retired, he recruited Moyes, he recruited Van Gaal, he recruited Mourinho, he oversaw all these transfer deals and he kept sacking them and he kept getting away with it. I don't know who will take over him. It might just be another Glazer puppet, but at the end of the day, you hope that this is the start of proper restructuring and reform at Manchester United that needs to happen. The emotions that have run through football over the last few days and football fans. I mean, look, I know how I feel and I can't imagine how you feel. You know, it's been up, it's been down. We've been on roller coasters. Your football club's going to end. I mean, look, for me, it's been like, you know, I will never do the United stand again if we go into a Super League. I won't do it. And now we're at a situation where the Super League's not going to happen. And actually, you know, the victory against these people is so big that the club is starting to crumble. The people in power are starting to disintegrate. So, look, they could put an even worse American CEO in it, says G. Newer. Of course they could. But, Ed Woodward resigns. And that's massive. I mean, literally 2 hours ago, we were being told that, you know, nothing's going to stop us now. We've got the legislation in place. Woodward resigns. What do the Glazers do? What do the Glazers? So where we're at over the last 40 minutes, God, woo! Where we're at the moment is that, like, literally 40 minutes ago, we're talking about Chelsea coming out of it. Well, to be honest, an hour ago, we're talking about, you know, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Then we hear Chelsea's coming out of it. Then we hear Man City's coming out of it. Then we hear Barcelona's going to hold a vote with the fans to come out of it. I think Atletico Madrid might be coming out of it. There's rumours of Arsenal and Liverpool, but Ed Woodward has resigned in reaction to the fallout from the European Super League. Because ultimately, as I said yesterday, you don't need to be a former detective to know that in 1999, Ed Woodward went to work at JP Morgan. In 2005, JP Morgan, Ed Woodward helped the Glazers buy Manchester United. And in 2021, JP Morgan are to bankroll £5 billion for the formation of a European Super League that Manchester United have helped construct. You can see the path. You can see the Ed Woodward connection. So, look, at the end of the day, in many ways, I respect the man for actually owning up and getting out. You know, resignation is admission. You know, it's jump before you're pushed, really. Now, will the Glazers try and twist this around and put it onto Ed Woodward? Remember who was going to be the chairman? Joel Glazer. Joel Glazer was going to be the chairman. So don't think Woodward gone is the problem. The Glazers have to go as well. 100%. Get Glazers out needs to be next. Woodward's gone very, very quickly. Let's get the Glazers out as well, because you know, Joel Glazer was going to be the chairman. And as Gary Neville said, Joel Glazer doesn't attach himself to anything without thinking it's going to happen. It's all going off. All going off at the moment. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I think it's going to be a long night. We have got the Chelsea game. I do need to just do something on here as well. I feel that we all owe Chelsea something for being the first club to come out and actually get out of this. And look, you know, maybe they weren't the first club. Maybe Man City was the first and Chelsea got out there quicker. But the reality is Chelsea have started this domino effect tonight when it comes to the news, as we know. And it's absolutely fantastic what they've done. I don't know where that thing is you've sent me, Drawty. Let me just send that. I don't know where that is. No, I've still got London Blues on there. I've only got one email. It's not there. I can't change it. Chelsea was the one that started, then the others followed, says Jack. Woodward has gone. He's resigned. I know, we're speaking about that. This Super League is crumbling. Just shows that a club can be worth millions, but the voice of the fans is priceless, says Ashley Crane. Let's not forget what these CUNTSs have done, says Max. And also, what do you think about adopting a German-style football? If we can get to that, Mr. Hug, I'd love it. Mark, United reported that Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw confronted Ed Woodward minutes before TalkSport reported Ed's resignation. What did I miss? Says Leatherface. Even better news, just check the stock exchange has plummeted. So lots coming in at the moment. Please recap. Well, Ed Woodward has resigned from Manchester United. Please share the video, by the way, if you're getting involved. There's a share button. Smash a like on the video. This is a massive night for football. The most important thing is that the European Super League is over. It's over before it even got... to be fair, it's lasted about as long as an Arsenal title charge, hasn't it? And look, and I can start bringing back the rivalry now, because we might be united and we're all having a bit of banter as well. But it's over. It's over. The Juve president has gone as well. He's resigned. Apparently that's happening. They're tumbling. They're all tumbling because what they've tried to do is destroy football, and they've fallen apart. Woodward's gone. Apparently Agnelli is gone from Juventus. It's all falling apart. And this is great. This is great when greedy people who try to sabotage and destroy something have to go. You know, I'm sure last week, and when they've worked, all the work they've put into this as well. Let's just have a minute silent for all the work these people did behind everybody's back with a big knife to stick in it. All those secret meetings, all the greed, all the deals that they've been working on. They've been working on this for a very long time. Let's think about all that hard work they've been doing in the shadows, sneaking around, lying like snakes. And within the space of a few hours, basically 3 days, it's all crumbling down because the biggest mistake you ever made was you acted like snakes. You acted like cowards. You went behind the back of people who actually matter. And you've paid the price. In a business sense, you've paid the price. That's what and that's what's happened. Woodward is gone. He is gone. And that, look, actually, I'm quite a humble person and I'm quite a forgiving person. And at the end of the day, if he's gone, he's gone. I'm very happy about it. As I said, I don't wish him any harm. I don't wish him any ill health. I don't wish anything like that. I'm not that sort of person. I think, there probably are people who think differently. Let them do that. That's not how I live my life. But ultimately, I will not forget what you tried to do to this football club, what you tried to do, not just to my football club, to lots of other football clubs as well. You tried to destroy it. That's what you tried to do. And, you pay the price. And look, what I would say is Chelsea's back. I've got rid of London Blues. Chelsea's back. But what I would say as well is this football club of ours is... no, not this football club. This football of ours. Sorry, what I was going to say is Manchester United. Ed Woodward loves his job, absolutely loves it. The rumours around Ed Woodward at Manchester United, and I can say it now, and I have said it in the past, but the rumours around Ed Woodward was that he's the Don at Manchester United. He runs Manchester United. He is the boss. The Glazers aren't there. He runs Manchester United. He's the top man at that club. He is basically the owner of Manchester United, Ed Woodward. He is given that power by the Glazers, who don't get involved in the day-to-day running. So the removal of Ed Woodward from Manchester United is absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. It is huge. I feel like... chicken tonight. Chicken tonight. I don't feel like chicken tonight. Woodward gone, Glazers out. So let's have a recap of what's going on here. Absolute scenes. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. That's football. We've got our channel back. We will be able to watch genuine football again instead of, being terrified that our football game is going to be taken away from us. Ed Woodward has resigned, as we know. Woodward gone. Good riddance, say people. I confirm football is saved, says Thogden. People power is a mighty force. Goodbye, Mr. Woodward. The claps at the European Super League may well see the Glazer family sell the club, says United Report. Hope so. Club have declined to comment that Ed Woodward has resigned. Hopefully he has. Hopefully that has happened. Agnelli has resigned as the president of Juventus as well. I mean, basically, if you can imagine this situation, this is basically what's happened with the European Super League, right? They've been in the background for months, chatting away with each other, very, very happy with each other. They've put it out publicly on the weekend. This is what's going to happen. They're very confident it's going to work. Stay together, stick together, stick together. It's going to be absolutely fine. And the thing is, because it was such a bad idea, the cracks have started to show and they've all fell apart. And it's like a bank heist that's gone terribly wrong. And what's basically happened is they've all been caught and they've all had to basically say, we got greedy, we had something good, and we fucked up. And basically that's it. Ed Woodward, the Glazers, Juventus, Real Madrid, Chelsea, everybody. They could, and look, maybe there'll be no resignations from Chelsea, but definitely in relation to Juventus and Agnelli and Manchester United's Ed Woodward. They got absolutely exposed yesterday by UEFA. UEFA came out and basically called them snakes, liars. They lied and they were snaky. And basically, they got greedy. They could have been in those jobs for ages. They could have stayed in those jobs for a very long time, but they got greedy. They turned their back on what football is all about. And 100% they deserve to be sacked. And if they've resigned, fair play, they've got away before they were sacked. Because actually, who was going to sack them? The Glazers probably wouldn't. Great to see the back of Woodward. The government now need to enact legislation ASAP that fans have 51% of any club in the PL. This must never happen again. Well, look, we need that to definitely go that way at all. I don't know what's happened with the Chelsea game. Has it been put down? Has it been put back? Get Van der Sar as the new chairman, says BK2, or is it actually still on? don't know what's happened with the Chelsea game. They've not started it. It's 8:10. I'm sorry about that. We were meant to be doing a watch along, but it's 8:10. We've got nearly 50,000 people watching. Please smash a like and subscribe and share the video. I just want to say personally, thank you to everybody, because I know a lot of you are not United fans. I know some of you are, but you've all played your part. We've had some really hard streams over the last few days. Relentless news. I mean, look, I can think of transfer windows. I can think of United signing Pogba. It's never been like this. Absolute relentless football news coming in from Sunday to now. That Liverpool-Leeds game is probably one of the hardest games I've ever watched, because it wasn't a football game, and I feared for Chelsea-Brighton tonight. But I actually think the Chelsea-Brighton game could be quite, interesting now, because, it's actually a proper football game. Mark, they postponed the game due to supporters stopping the Chelsea bus from coming into the stadium, says Zach Fellows. Well, I hope there's a minute's silence for the Super League. I'm willing to, be quiet for that. And actually, it should be a celebration. Should be a celebration of the Super League. Yeah, I'll always remember that, and I'll always remember how football fans kicked it into the bloody dirt. Glazers will look to sell the club, sources say. Please check. Roman and Mansour will be like, "What? Wait, we already have money," says Niven. Woodward going is amazing. It seems Laporta knew what the club members wouldn't vote for just after they voted him into presidency, hence the termination clause he inserted that depended on their vote. Jacob, it's victory for Real Madrid and real Manchester United and real fans. Woodward out now, needs something for fans to own 51% of the club. I hope this is the end of the Glazers. Football needs to be in the hands of the fans. It is time, says Mohammed Idris. This is the best day as a United fan, says Hamlet. So much breaking news. So much breaking news. Absolutely amazing news just going on all over the place at the moment. It's absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning at the moment. This is the best day as a United fan, says Hamlet. Let's not count our chickens. The whole point is, when you've got a war going on, when you've got a battle going on, do you win the battle and then let the people who caused the battle run into hiding, or do you chase them down? And we've got to keep chasing them down. Woodward's gone. Agnelli's gone. If I was Real Madrid, I'd want Perez gone. I want the Glazers gone. And now what Liverpool decide to do and what Man City decide to do, I don't know. I can't really get involved in that conversation, because I know Manchester City have a lot of appreciation for their owners. I don't think they'll be looking to force them out. I don't know that Chelsea fans will be looking to force Abramovich out. I don't know about Liverpool. Liverpool are a difficult one, because Liverpool fans are like Manchester United fans. We are older clubs with more success. I can't argue about that. But at Liverpool, it might be a bit different. They might just say, actually, we'll never forget what you tried to do to our football club. So it might be different at Liverpool. One thing I remember as a Spurs fan is that Daniel Levy has thrown our best chance out of getting a trophy this season. Why would you sack Jose so close to a final? I want him out as well. Yeah, Spurs could be different. Ding dong, Woodward's gone. Says, interesting. Yeah, definitely. So look, each club has their own battle to go and fight now. I can't fight Liverpool's battle, and Liverpool can't fight Manchester United's battle. I think each individual club will be more than happy to go and fight those battles individually. But what we definitely have done in this case is we collectively have we've won the war. We've won the battle. Collectively, football fans have won the battle. So, yes, very, very happy in relation to that. Agnelli is resigned as well. Yep. And FSG out, says Charlie. Yeah, I think Liverpool fans will definitely come for it as well. Of course they will. I've tuned in and gone through this journey with you the last 2 days. I'm emotionally drained, but this is a moral victory now to get the rats out, says Liam V. Mark, told you Glazers greed will be their downfall. Stop Ed Glazers as well. Glazers are money grabbers. Yep, they are. I hope the 14 clubs insist for punishment. MOT, says Johnny Jinderscarf. And also we've got a super chat coming in from Ronit. Mark, told you Glazers' greed will be their downfall, says Ronit. Yep, hopefully. This could be a tactic from the Glazers, blaming everything on Ed. Yeah, that's not going to work, though, because Manchester United fans ain't that stupid. We're not going to be that stupid. 1 minute. Hello? Okay, no worries. I'll do a couple of bits and then I'll go. What's Flex doing? Staying. It's not a different key then. Okay, no. All right, I'll try it, mate. No worries. Okay, so. Sorry about that. I knew my phone would start going. That's just the way it's going to be. So yeah, let me come back to you there. Sorry for that interruption. I'm just seeing if there's some breaking news as well, because it's all going on at the moment. This poor guy has to get my name tattooed on his ass. Did we actually do it? Did we pressure this man out of the Super Duper Cup? Gary Neville's happy as well. Gary Neville's done a great job. A lot of people have done a lot as well. Thog Dad, I've just seen a video of him. Fantastic. This could be, let's have a look. German football laughing at all of this. Says Johannes, I'm a City fan. I'm delighted we've pulled out, but we shouldn't have even considered it in the first place as FIFA fanatic. Well, look, I think it's very important in that sense to say that as football fans, we've all got our part to play now. What you do here is up to you. What you do, I cannot be, saying to you what you need to do. You must decide what you want to do as fans and as football clubs. As a Manchester United fan, I feel that this is the beginning of the chase. We now go after, Woodward's gone. We now go after getting our football club back. So that's what we need to do. And everybody individually, as I said, I do think that Liverpool will have an issue. I think their owners will have an issue, and probably quite rightly so, because they have caused huge issues themselves by going against a great football club with great history. Liverpool are massively intrinsically linked, as I've said many times, to the European Cup. It's very important to them. I think where it started, looking back on it now, I did say I was going to talk about some of those Florentino Perez comments. And when you look at it now, saying things like, when we go into the European Super League that's only got 15 teams in it, we will take our European Cup titles. You won't. You definitely won't do that. You can't do that. That's not how it works. You are turning your back on the fabric of football. You cannot sew it into something else and expect football. Basically, they took football fans for idiots. Let's call a spade here. They took football fans for absolute idiots. They thought you were going to fall for it. They thought you were going to carry on and just follow them wherever, like the Pied Piper. And thank God none of you actually did. Thank God most of you, in fact, let's be honest, let's say all of you, you stayed firm, you stayed angry, you kept your voices. And look, what a bit of poetic justice that that Chelsea fans, Ajax didn't even get invited. Probably should have been. What a great bit of timing that Chelsea fans are outside the ground protesting. There wasn't loads of them. I doubt there was 10,000 there, probably way less than that. But what they did do is they turned up and they called, they were there when it came out. So absolutely fantastic. I'm so happy about it. The game has kicked off here. I've basically been told that I need to go and do a video on the United stand, which is what I'm going to do. I want to continue this conversation. I have got Chelsea versus Brighton on. There's a video on the United stand. I've dropped the link in the video description because Flex is live on the United stand at the moment, so you can go and watch that one if you want. But if you want more of me, I'm going to be continuing this general conversation, but I have got to do it on the United stand because I've got to react to Ed Woodward as well. So I've dropped the link in the video description there. I'm literally going to be live in 30 seconds. So if you click that link in the video description, you'll see me over there in 30 seconds time. But please subscribe to this channel on your way out. Lots and lots of things going on this channel, and as we've seen over the last few days, a united channel where everybody is welcome. And when I say united, I mean everybody's welcome. Some of the stories over the last few days have been amazing. Let's continue them now. But please subscribe to this channel and smash a like, and I'll see you over there in 30 seconds. Links in the video description.